Hi. Hello everyone, welcome back to my video. I've added some more little ribbons up there, and I think the wall is looking pretty good. Some housekeeping stuff before we get into me riding Platty, the best lesson pony ever. There's some water trickling because I have a big fish tank and I put new substrate in it. So I have 3 filters going in there, trying to get it as clean as possible. So you might hear some water driplets in the background. I apologize for being late on uploading this as well. School is starting and life's been crazy, so you know, I'm just trying to get stuff out when I can. Bagel is sitting right here next to me. Bagel! He's very cute and we love him, and he says hi. Anyway, so this video is of me riding Platty. She's perfect, she's awesome, we love her. She's a little bit sassy, but that's just because she knows I know how to ride. So when I ask her to go correctly and use her body more correctly, instead of letting her look to the outside or chuck her rib cage and shoulder in, she gets kind of mad because she's like, no, I'm a lesson pony, I don't have to do that anymore. But I love her to death. She's perfect and amazing, and I love her in every single way that anyone could love a horse. So there's gonna be some videos of me getting her tacked up, some voiceovers of me riding and judging myself, and yeah, there's gonna be some jumping, some flat work, all the fun stuff. So yeah, let's get right into the video. So, because Goose is lame, I get to hack Platty, who we love so much. She's very dirty, but she's a very good girl, yeah. So for this hack, I had literally no one with me, so I just took a couple videos of us on horseback. I always, of course, warm her up with a loose rein, really trying to get her to stretch through her body. Also do some no stirrups work because it's fun. Here's a video of us in the mirror, her being cutie, absolute doll, and just more videos of us walking to warm up, working on, you know, turning, and here I am chit-chatting with my sister, who's on another lesson horse that we were hacking for our trainer. Here was a quick video I took of us at the trot. It is terrible. I don't have a ton of control. We're on a very loose rein because I'm just kind of letting her work up. And here's just a cute video of us hacking around the property. So this was just like, hey, I'm gonna get to know you again. And she was a very, very good girl when I, you know, had both reins and wasn't trying to record and not getting hit in the face by branches, apparently. But she hacks out perfectly because she's just an amazing little girl and we love her so much. And here she is, post-ride, being an absolute cutie. She got a treat after this and I didn't just boop her. As you can see, she was annoyed because I didn't give her the treat. But she did get a treat afterwards, and I also grazed her around the property quite a bit because it was really wet when I was out in California, so the grass was super lush, and she was just a very good girl for our hack ride, so I was like, let's go and graze you as a reward. Okay, we are leaving the barn. We had a great hack. Goose was lame, so obviously we couldn't ride him because that would not be fair to him. I hacked Platty, and because I was just hacking, no one really got any videos, but it went really well. We did some basic walk, trot, canter, and lead changes across the diagonal, lead changes on a figure 8. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna lesson on Platty tomorrow, and hopefully someone will be there to record that because we love Platinum Doll and we want to get a video of that lesson. But that's all for today. Okay, we are here again, and today we are riding the perfect girl, Platinum Doll. I got all of her stuff out. Now I'm just walking over to go grab her. I think this might be her first day of work. I'm not totally sure about that though. So chances are it's just gonna be a flat lesson, but that's okay because I enjoy riding her either way. Oh, hi kitty. We've got a lot of kitties here. Some of them are friendly, some of them aren't, but they all like to yell at you. So you never really know until you go down to pet one and they go and run away. And here she is, Miss Platinum Doll. She is gorgeous as always. And she is mildly annoyed that I took her away before she finished her breakfast. But she did get to eat most of it. So she will be okay. And then she'll have a snack for later. Another kitty. You know it's gonna be a good day when the barn cats yell at you. It's like an omen, a good omen, especially if it's a black cat. I know people are like, oh, black cats are bad luck. That is not true. I think they're great luck. Here she is. She's a bit entitled, but otherwise absolutely perfect. She's got some crusties that we gotta get out, but this is her itchy side, so she's always dirty here. Yeah. Oh.
Here I am just grooming her. I'm gonna itch her neck quite a bit as well because she really likes being scratched there. So obviously I want to indulge her and just praise her for being a good girl, letting me pick her feet and just move around her and everything like that. She was, of course, really good for tacking up. No complaints there. You'll see bits and pieces of me stopping to talk to the camera. I'm basically just explaining that I do her girth up very slowly because she prefers it that way. Most horses tend to. So you'll see me readjust the girth quite a bit. That's just what I'm doing. And obviously, if she prefers something, I'm going to do it her way. This entire clip is actually 12 minutes long because I want to give her a good 10 minutes just to slowly do up her girth and not tighten it super quick on her and make her pissed. Okay, so this is me trotting one way to warm up, and then I'm gonna trot the other way to warm up, and then I'm gonna canter one way and then canter the other way. So we were doing some minor jumping, even though it was her first day of work. This is like not even a foot off the ground, so it's really not a big deal. We went for a lead change across the diagonal. We got it pretty well on that side. Later in the video, we will do the lead change the other way, which is her harder way, and we couldn't get it. And here's us just going over the poles on the ground, just to be like, hey, this is the exercise that we are doing. As you can see, we nailed the 2-stride fan, going across the diagonal, everything on the ground. We're great. A little head flipping, but we're pretty calm, pretty collected. Everything's good. Like I said, this was kind of her first day of work. She gets a lunge day, but this was her first ridden day of work. So she was super pumped, as you can see there. Whenever she sees poles on the ground, she goes, oh my god, guys, we're jumping. And we need to go fast, and we need to go really fast and really, really hard. So here we are showing her that the trot poles have been risen. As you can see, she did not notice, but that's why we go over them first, just to make sure that they're like, hey, they're above your legs, and you have to pick your feet up now. We botched that fence, if you can even call it that. And we're going for the fan, 2-stride once again. That's why I take the heavy outside track, because even though she's a pony, she has a very long body, so she gets a pretty long stride. And she's gorgeous and a doll. We fall in a little bit and don't get that lead change, so I ask for a trot change, and then we go up to trot these trot poles. And it takes quite a bit to keep us in the trot. As you see, we almost broke to the canter, but we didn't. And then I asked for the canter, and she goes, we're cantering, guys. And she's just very excited, and she's just a very happy horse who, as you can see, very much likes to jump. Now, this was the second version and the harder version for us of the course, because I kept falling in there and forgot that I can put my outside leg on. But in all fairness, this pony is normally ridden in spurs, and I didn't have spurs. And she decides that the trot poles are getting a little annoying, as you can see with the head shake and the tail flip. Once again, we actually went for the 1-stride this time. That's why we took the inside track. And we fall in way too much. But the jump was cute-ish, so it's okay. Now here we're supposed to go across the diagonal, get a lead change. We did not get the lead change. We got the trot change, and I, instead of going straight across the diagonal, put us kind of at a straight line just to give us more room to get that lead change. That fan was not good, so I'm going around to do it again. Because if you make more of like an S shape, you give yourself more room and a better approach, which was what I wanted because I know that lead change is hard for her. Even though we missed our distance to the poles, they were still much more forward and much more controlled, so I was happier with them, but we're gonna go around and get them once again. That mini buck kick-out thing was me asking her to slow down and her saying no, so that's why we are trotting into the poles. And as you can see, we get the beautiful one stride and go to the trot poles. Now, she's decided from here on out they are bounces, and the last one is an oxer. This horse does not like raised trot poles, and if you're jumping with raised trot poles, they are now bounces and or oxers. There's nothing you can really do about that because, once again, she is so pumped and she's a lesson pony. So she kind of gets away with this stuff. But here I was like, no, we asked to trot through these. So we got a nice trot through and I was like, maybe we can trot these poles, and she said absolutely not. But it's okay, we still love her, and that's a lot of hind-end work to make those trot poles bounces. So if she wants to work her body harder and build up her muscle better, that is absolutely her choice. Here, we were missing the fan on purpose because we were going to the across the diagonal jump. And she jumped super cute. She always flips her hind end because she's a perfect little pony. Of course, I would have loved to jump her higher, however, it was super wet out, so we jumped pretty low in the indoor and instead work on more technical things. As you can see, to some degree, I was struggling with this stuff, so it was a very good experience and learning opportunity, as all rides are. But looking back, I'm pretty happy with how this ride went. We did cut out the trot poles because she decided they should not exist. This lead change was a little better. We only trotted one step to get it, so I was pretty happy with it. But as far as the trot poles go, there's no point in making her try and trot them, her deciding their bounces, and then landing on a pole and hurting herself or something like that, because we always want to work with what our horses are giving us at that specific time, and that's what she was giving us. But it was a pretty good ride. I'll say it's a 6 out of 10 in the next clip. Looking back, it's probably more of a 6.5, maybe a 7.
Okay. Oh, we're done, and I rate it like a 6 out of 10. She's very itchy. As you can tell by the extremely bendy horse, I have horse cookies. She's all untacked and did very well, so we're giving her the cookies. Hi. Good girls get good cookies. Platty is back in her home. She's still convinced I have cookies, which I do not. And yeah, she was a very good girl. It was her first day of the work week, so she was very behind my leg. But overall, it wasn't as bad as it could have been.
It's important to always stop for a kitty break. Yeah? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so this was a hack ride after that lesson. I don't remember how many days after, but here are just some clips of the walk and the trot warm-up. We're doing a lot of halting, working on transitions, really subverting her expectations of we're gonna trot in a circle, we're gonna walk in a circle, we're gonna canter in a circle. Because eventually later in this ride, I'm gonna ask for lead changes, which is not just circles. However, here I am doing a little bit of stupid Western, because she is part quarter horse cow pony, and I used to do Western way back when, so sometimes when I sit on her and we're warming the trot up, I do one-handed stuff because it doesn't really affect her and it makes me feel like a cowgirl. I will never give up the fact that I did Western when I started. It's really fun and I'd like to do it more. Here we are going to do a turn on the haunches into a trot. It's not perfect. We get a couple steps forward, but then she starts to understand what I'm asking for and she does it pretty well. This was my English horse version of when the reiners do a sliding stop and they spin around and they go fast out of it. I just did a halt to turn on the haunches to trot. But she took my stupid cowboy antics very well, even though that is not at all what she does. She was very nice and humored me and played along. Now I'm doing some tighter circles at the trot. Well, they're more teardrops. just to try and get her off my leg more and listening to my seat more rather than my hand. She is perfect, so she absolutely nails these. I knew she would nail them because, like I said, she's the best lesson pony ever, and she tries so hard, and I love her so much for that. But now that we were done with those, I started thinking about the canter and trying to really get her to move off of my inside leg and move her inside shoulder. As you'll see here, she tries to go up into the canter, but I stopped her because I was like, no, I wasn't asking for that. There we did another tight turn, and I eventually asked her for the canter again, once again just making sure to set her up so we get a good transition. As you can see, it paid off, and the transition was pretty good. Once again, focusing on long, low, and steady movements. Now, she doesn't like long and low. She prefers for you to hold her hand and hold the bit in her mouth, but I want her to stretch. That was another issue we ran into our lesson, was she prefers you to have a much tighter grip and contact with her bit than I tend to normally do. Now, we do a bit of a tighter turn and we go the other way, once again making sure to set her up as best we can. So we get the lead change, not the lead change, my bad. So we get the lead, and once again, it worked. Very nice setup, and overall, pretty good. So I'm gonna just canter her around a bit, and then we're going to do something I call a figure 8 of lead changes, which is cross the diagonal, lead change, go through the short side, cross the diagonal, lead change, go through the short side. So we do that again and again. I start on her good side. She gives me a little bit of a buck because she's like, there's no fences, why are we doing a flying lead change? This is useless. But I was struggling with it in my last lesson, so that's what we're working on. That wasn't great, we got the front end, but not the hind end, but once again, still better than our lesson, so I was pretty happy for that improvement. I couldn't go across the diagonal because there was people, so we did a little circle, and then we're gonna go across the diagonal again. This lead change was alright, it was acceptable, but it wasn't great. I had to do another circle because they were in the other corner and I don't want to run into them. But like I was saying, this lead change was okay, wasn't great. She is, once again, getting a little upset because she's like, why are we doing lead changes one after the other? This is stupid. But I just wanted to get one good one this way. And we did. We got the hind end after we got the front end, but it was still technically a flying lead change, even if it was a little discombobulated. So I let her go and just kind of canter and be like, yeah, that's what we wanted, good girl.
Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you want to keep up with me and my riding, leave a like down below, subscribe, write a comment. I love reading people's comments. It's so encouraging and so fun. That's the end of the video. And remember, the world is dangerous, so don't die out there.